remember the excitement and the feeling of fellowship and companionship, and that transcended race and transcended gender and transcended religion. It was just one of the exciting moments in my life. I was 28 years old. I had a congregation in Baltimore, Maryland called Temple Emanuel, which was very active already prior to that in the civil rights movement, and the desegregation of the local delicatessen and the desegregation of the local swimming pool. So I came into an atmosphere where race relations and economic relations and housing were already very potent issues for the synagogue, and I inherited that. After 2 months, I'd already met the local black clergy, and I had met with the local white clergy, and we had developed a kind of rapport and a common agenda, so it was perfectly natural to participate in the March on Washington. I mean, everybody was talking about it. It was Martin Luther King had galvanized the nation, and every major organization that I was aware of and to which I belonged was participating. The Union of American Hebrew Congregations, the Central Conference of American Rabbis, and we were pretty well represented. We were represented locally, we were represented nationally. There were buses that were leaving from all over Baltimore. And we went on a bus, and there were dozens of us, 20, 30 people on a bus, and a whole caravan going down. It was a phenomenal parade. Many of the people on the bus were my fellow Jews from other congregations, and the people who had come to be with us from the inner city. So there were. It was to some degree it was a heterogeneous group, and to some degree it was a homogeneous group. Once we got on the bus, we decided it was going to have to be more heterogeneous, so that we would talk to people we did not know.
And did you?
Yep. Those were fascinating conversations. We talked to people whom we, by and large, never talked to, in terms of white Christian clergy, in terms of black clergy, in terms of people who were involved in the civil rights movement on a lay level. I mean, and some of those relationships have withstood all 50 years. It was very well organized. There were marshals everywhere. There were people who told you where to go. Everybody had a list. Everybody had a map. And to get all those people together in one spot, get them in, have them orderly for the course of the few hours of the march, and then to get them all back home without major incident is one of the miracles of the 20th century. The mood was ecstatic. We thought we were changing history. We thought this was the beginning of a major American revolution in which finally the promise of the Emancipation of Proclamation would come true. I mean, it had taken a long time. It had taken the World War II and the return of black veterans not willing to be second-class citizens in their own country, and that was a significant impetus for the revolution that took place. It was a wow moment. It was did we just experience this? What was it like? What did it feel like? And most important, what are going to be the consequences of this day? Is there a future beyond the march itself? And we talked about what the future might bring in terms of radical changes in the lives in the relationship between black Americans and white Americans. Who knew? Nobody could have predicted 50 years ago what the next 50 years were going to be like. Nobody. Just the fascination of having been alive at a major event in the history of my of my country. It's like having been around, what was it like in 1776? What was it like in 1812? And then somebody says, well, what was it like in 1963? Oh, I was there. And that sort of puts it in perspective. I think it was one of those seminal moments in the life of a country that changes the country and changes the individuals who participate in it.